everyone doing? Would anyone like to say hello?
Good. Hello.
Hi. Nice to hear your voice. How is all of your weather? It's a little chilly over here. I know some of you have snow, some of you have sun. We're at about 40. How are you all doing with the weather?
Hi, Karen. It's Maureen from Florida.
Tell me, how warm is warm?
Well, we're expecting Nicole to be coming in tomorrow with lots of rain and wind and coastal flooding.
Oh, okay. Well, how was today?
Today is good.
Good. I'm thinking of you tomorrow. Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Dees. Like a lot of you, give me 1 second. I had to get dinner going while I come in and speak with you. I'm going to ask that all of you *6 if you'd like to mute or hit your mute button. And then if you'd like to jump back on and ask questions or share or speak, whatever it may be, you hit *6 again, which would unmute you, or just unmute your mute button. Either way, it'll reduce the static that a lot of us hear, okay? So I'm sure that all of you are excited because a lot of the back orders and your inventory and products that you're looking for are slowly making their ways to your homes, and you're starting again or starting anew to utilize all of the amazing Sunrider foods, and that's what this call really is about. You're going to focus on a few of the Sunrider products that we all love. Some of us may be new to them. Some of us maybe have used them for many years. Either way, we're going to talk about whether it's the ingredients or how we're using them or the things that we're having it as we are discussing the nutritional value of these during this season. I want you to, I've got a little static there. I want you to remember, guys, that regardless of where you are in your health or your Sunrider journey or your weather conditions, wherever you may be, what's wonderful is that Sunrider will work perfectly for you in your situation, in your family situation. I want to give a little background. I'm Dr. Karen Spencer Dees, and I have been using as both a consumer and in my practice for over 20 years, the Sunrider foods and the Sunrider home products, the skincare products, and have loved them and raised my children on them. Some still home utilizing them, some off to college, and even my parents and my extended family, we all love and utilize these foods. And so I want to just let you know that first and foremost, I am a true consumer. And to you from an educational place as a doctor in the field of nutrition, in the field of biology, and also as a consumer who uses these foods daily and these products daily and can speak to the benefits. I want to start tonight by sharing just something very interesting. For a lot of you, and we're going to get to the products in a few minutes, but for a lot of you, you are using what we call the Sun Smile fruit and vegetable rinse. And I will always share a product with you and then let you know where to find it on Sunrider's website. This is under the household products, and you will see under every single product, really, and I'm going to see what color it is, just so I know. I believe it's in green. It'll say product fact sheet. And for those of you that like some extra information on a product, click on that product fact sheet, and you can print it, you can hang it in your kitchen, you can share that, but it'll give you a lot of the in-depth information on that product. The Sun Smile fruit and vegetable rinse has come back into stock, and I wanted to start there, although we may have covered it prior. I want to start here for a reason. Going into this season, this is truly cold and flu season. And from a professional standpoint, from a doctor's mind here, and from a mom's mind here, I do everything I can to keep, right? Like a lot of you, keep the wellness up and the illness down, the germs out. And so I received many emails over the course of the past few months on what other products are out there that could replace the Sun Smile Fruit and Vegetable Rinse. And I was always fascinated with that word replace. There's nothing that replaces this. And I want to share with you why and how I used it this evening. There are many products on the market that claim to really clean your fruits, your vegetables, your countertops. The factor is, what are they made from? And how healthy are those active ingredients for you and those you care about as you ingest them? So the goal has always been that as you wash your produce, if we just would focus on produce for a moment, as you wash your produce from all the moms and dads and everybody who walks around the supermarket, those that are buying for their meal that evening, those that are planning for the week, whatever it may be, whoever you may be, everybody touches their nose. Everybody may have a little tickle in their throat and cough. Some of you have been in your car. Some of you have been at work. Some of you have been with grandchildren who have runny noses. It is a plethora of, we might as well call it Chuck E. Cheese, right? Going into the market, when you pick up your beautiful produce, the apples, the oranges, the broccoli, you have no idea how many hands have touched it before you. From the moment it was from the field, right? Or from the tree, to the moment it was put on a truck, to the moment it was put on your shelf, and you got it. There's a lot of issues, whether it's with hygiene or with colds and flus, whether it's with viruses that linger on your produce. And for a lot of you, one of the questions you asked me over these months as Sunrider was somewhat back ordered was, I always felt that when I washed my fruits and vegetables with this specific rinse, I didn't have any side effects. There were no allergies. My lips didn't itch, right? I could count that this was healthy. Well, I could not give you another product out there, okay? For a very simple reason. And I am on the Sunrider product fact sheet right now. And it's really because the Sun Smile Fruit and Vegetable Rinse not only washes away, and we've talked about it, but I want you to hear it again, washes away dirt, pesticide, waxy coatings that seal in pesticide and other contaminants, right, in a very safe and healthy way. But it's also what it's derived and made from. It's made from corn and coconut. And there really is nothing else on the market that is as healthy for you as the Sun Smile Fruit and Vegetable Rinse. So, guys, can someone just say hello, because a few of you are trying to reach me? Hi. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Okay, then we're just going to let Palm Beach stay there. Thank you, honey. So the gain is really that the active ingredients are healthy for you, but they're also concentrated. And they're also used, believe it or not, to disinfect the same active ingredients that we want to get rid of on Sunrider's equipment. They have been using Sunrider's Sun Smile Fruit and Vegetable Rinse to actually kill the same germs, and that's their on Sunrider's equipment. So they are not using anything unhealthy, anything from their own machinery to what they're asking you, right, to wash your fruits and vegetable with, corn and coconut. And that's very different than looking at versions of soap. And a lot of you actually told me that you had grown up with using everything from ivory soap to wash your produce with to using detergents. I was shocked. I heard so many stories. And one of the aha moments was a lot of you have questioned whether you're truly allergic, reactive, or your families are reactive to certain fruits and vegetables because the corners of the mouth itch, or the tongue swells, or the inside of the cheek starts to swell, or the body itches, or there's eczema, or there is actually dry scalp. And the question mark a lot of you came up with was, is it possible I'm not reacting to the fruit and vegetable, but I'm reacting to what has been sprayed on it. Am I possibly reacting to pesticides, herbicides, right? Am I possibly reacting to what's been coated on what I'm purchasing? And then I think if I wash it with some water, or if I just rub it with a tissue or, right, a paper towel, or I even use soap, that it will get rid of these pesticides and pollutants, and it does. With that said, the Sunrider Sun Smell Fruit and Vegetable Rinse does. And once you truly, truly clean your produce with them and really cleaned and cleansed away the pesticides, the waxy coating, truly gotten rid of what's potentially giving you the allergic reaction, or your children or your grandchildren or those that you know that are having skin irritations and wondering, what is it that I'm washing my clothes with, or what is it that I can't figure out? There was an aha for so many of you. Oh my goodness, is it possible? It's what's really on my fruits and vegetables and what I'm buying at the market, and it is. And so what Sunrider states very clearly and concisely is that our super concentrated, biodegradable rinse thoroughly cleans fruits and vegetables in minutes. In minutes, it's safe for your family and the environment. So you can enjoy peace of mind along with cleaner, brighter, and tastier fruit. And on this product fact sheet, you will notice it gives you directions. Very simple. You pour a capful either in your sink or in a bowl of water, and you drop in all of your produce. It's easy and it works. And again, derived from corn and derived from coconut. That's the difference. And one of the questions asked, and has been asked a few times, is do I need to wash my produce if it's organic? And the answer is yes. Even if you're buying organic fruits and vegetables, the handling, packaging, shipping, in-store displays can introduce a variety of contaminants. And even the pre-washed produce. One second, okay? One second. I'm going to ask you to start 6, honey. Even the pre-washed produce may still have bacteria and chemicals on it. And so my point is that Sunrider has it back in stock. And I'm going to ask that you all start using it. Everybody. It is not a product that I want you to shortchange. It's a very important product for your families and for everyone you're sharing Sunrider with. And it will reduce all of the symptoms and all of the issues that everyone's having with what is contaminating their foods. The other piece to this is you can do everything from pour a little capful in a bowl and soak your beans, to wash your countertops, to your tables, etc., your cutting boards. But I really want to focus on produce at this moment. I want you to start there. Now, the reason I bring that up is because, like many of you, I make a lot of meals. And I was looking in the refrigerator. I was making a big pot, it's cold here, of an organic homemade chicken soup tonight. And the carrots, the onions, the celery were all very dirty. And I had just picked them up at the market. And I washed them in water very quickly. And I watched, and these were organic, how sticky everything was. It was sticky, and the dirt was still sticking. So even if it's organic, there's still beeswax, there's still sprays, there's still a lot of even if it's organic, treatments. And there's still a lot of hands on it, and there's a lot of germs. And knowing that it is cold and flu season, I'm asking all of you, this is an easy fix to prevent. Wash all your fruits and vegetables that have been handled by everybody else. And at the same time, I want you to pay attention to the symptoms or the side effects that a lot of you get from the itchiness, of what you think is an allergy to that fruit and vegetable. Now, obviously, some of you have two allergies. Some of you are truly allergic to the pesticide. So across the board, everybody, I don't care if you're buying organic or not, wash. And it only has to sit in it for a few minutes. That's all. Now, one of the questions that gets asked about this product a lot is how long does it stay active? It's active to use for 1 hour once you have opened the tap and poured it in the water. And it's diluted 1 hour, okay? All right, fruit and vegetables. And I will tell you that I'm always amazed because after I rinsed all of those vegetables tonight and made the big pot of soup, those vegetables, and I was tasting them as I went. What did it taste like when I just washed it with the water? What did the vegetable taste like once I washed it with the fruit and vegetable rinse? And I will tell you, the sweetness was so dramatically different in those onions, in those carrots. It was shocking. So I want you to pay attention to the flavor change, the improvement, and how much longer the shelf life is of your produce. Okay? All right. I want to jump in quickly because I know we're a little bit short on time to a topic that is really important to everybody going forward this time of year. And that is the topic of cleansing. And a lot of times when we talk about Sunrider, we talk about a concept of nourish, balance, and cleanse. The Sunrider has products that allow for your cleansing organs or your cleansing systems to function optimally or to function even better. Okay? And I want you to think about that for a minute. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that when we breathe in, right? When we breathe out, when we are part of each other's lives, we are, whether it is being next to someone, being in the same environment, whether it's we got sick and we had to take an antibiotic, it may be that we have long-term health challenges, which is okay, and we use different interventions or medications that we have to use. They leave a residue in our system. Sometimes we are tired and stressed, or we're at college and we don't always eat as well. There's all sorts of reasons that people believe in this concept of cleansing. The old school thinking is to get rid of the bad. But truly, the new school thinking is that we are a balance. We nourish, and our bodies naturally cleanse. An in and an out, a yin and a yang. Everybody must cleanse. Everybody. And the game is that every day, as our bodies are ingesting things, experiencing life, we also want to have our bodies freely excrete what is toxic or not beneficial to us. We don't need to store that in our bodies. So if you think about your organs, we'll use the kidneys as an example, or the liver. We want your liver to right? We want your liver not to be troubled, not to be toxic. We want it to break down fat. We want it to cleanse for you. We want your kidneys to cleanse for you. Those are organs. They are must. They're not optional. They're must. And so we look at Sunrider's cleansing products that are done through nourishment. One of the amazing parts to the Sunrider cleansing foods is that because they're a nourishing factor, they nourish the cleansing organs, they don't act like a cleanser. So for all of you who have used diuretics or laxatives or maybe been on a juice fast, that's not what this is. What this is we nourish the organs that allow for us to cleanse. We do not cleanse purposefully. So we're not pulling out water. We're not pulling out nutrients. Does that make sense, everyone? And I'm going to ask you to star 6 if you haven't, because I can hear a lot of background. When we are utilizing our Sunrider foods, and we're looking at how do we benefit from this concept of cleanse. I want you to think of Cali and Fortune Delight. These are nourishing, what look like teas, but they're really vegetable soups. And it allows for us to do everything from, and for all of you who have utilized our Cali and Fortune Delight, you know what I'm about to share with you. It allows for you to feel energized while eliminating efficiently and effectively what is not needed or necessary for your body. Therefore, we don't store it. We're not storing toxins in our fat cells, and we're not storing toxins in our kidneys. So we are going to start with Cali. And if we look at what's available, if we're looking at Sunrider's inventory that's back in stock, you will see, I believe it's Cali cinnamon, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, it's back in stock. So it does not matter if it's Cali cinnamon, Cali regular, Cali mint, they're all wonderful. They're all Cali. And what Sunrider states is that a proprietary blend of green tea and herbal extracts, this super tea is made with our exclusive concentration method that enhances the release, this is important, of what we call tea catechins, bioflavonoids, and other very strong and potent antioxidants. And it releases it into the water in a way that's not possible with traditional grinding. So as we've talked about week to week, Sunrider's concentration, right, is the key. We start with one orange, we grind it up, we have one orange. With Sunrider, start with 10 oranges. You extract all the nutrients from 9 of them and spray dry it on one, and you eat one. You have a super concentrated orange. It's the same with every product in Sunrider, and it's the same with Sunrider's Cali tea. So when we look on the market and we see green teas, black teas, white teas, I want you to remember we're looking from two different eyes. One is a 1-to-1 ratio. Pick the one orange, eat the one orange. And one, it can be anywhere of 10-to-1 and 10 plus. And so you're getting the concentration and the nutrition 10 times plus of everything else on the market. Same with all these active antioxidants and all the superior catechins that help for your cells to not metastasize, but to really strengthen and to be healthy for you. Sunrider states that Cali protects against what we call free radicals. And what free radicals are they really are the things that are floating around. I like to use a cigarette as an example. But if you were to smoke, right, a cigarette, those would be called what we call free radicals. It's something toxic or poisonous that we're breathing in or taking into our bodies. It may be something from the environment. It may be from a pesticide. It may be even from stress or something we have to do a lot of times, which is different medications or possibly treatment, right? Maybe chemo. But the truth is that free radicals you do not want them lingering in your system. And it's very hard to eliminate free radicals once they are in the system. But Sunrider found a way. And with Sunrider's Cali, which is just shocking, not only does it protect you against the intruders of free radicals, but also support your body in cleansing them out and digesting. The goal is to ultimately boost your body's ability to flush out what it doesn't need and protect you, right, from what invades it. And with Sunrider, whether you are drinking your Cali hot or you're drinking it cold, it doesn't matter. It's going to not only protect you, but also help you eliminate what ultimately causes us to be sick. One of the just astounding things with Cali is that it also hydrates. So even though most, if not all, cleansing teas on the market like a diuretic, have to pull water out. Sunlight is the reverse. It actually allows for hydration. So while it's a little bit of an oxymoron, while you're cleansing, you're also hydrated. Sunrider states that it cleanses with natural antioxidants. It's 4 times more concentrated than a traditional green tea. That's probably wonderful on the market, but 4 times even of that. There's no fat, there's no preservatives, there's no artificial sweeteners, there's no added sugars or caffeine at all. And this is very important when we understand that we cannot live just by N and B when we talk about nourish, balance, cleanse. We live by NBC. We need the balance in and out. We breathe in and we exhale. Inhale, exhale. It's not just inhale. And we need active ingredients that allow for our bodies to exhale and eliminate what's not needed. One of the gains with drinking our Cali is that it boosts your immune system. And that's a wonderful gain. The other is that I think that if we're looking at, we are a society now that loves our green teas and that drinks green tea. A lot of people still love their coffee, and that's okay. But we're looking at the health benefits of Cali, not just is it a green tea or is it a replacement for coffee. We're looking at the health of this. And so for everybody, as we're in cold and flu season, as it is seasonally a time where everyone eats more sugar, as it is a time when we are around a lot of people coughing and sneezing, and even more so, as we talked about a few minutes ago, people are touching our proteins with the same germs they're coughing and sneezing with. When we drink our Cali and we take 1 Cali bag, you can make 1 giant mug or you can make a whole pot. And I will use 1 Cali bag and I will put it in a pot for my whole family and let it steep there. Cinnamon is a warming spice or a warming herb, and it's very aromatic, but also it's a wonderful booster of the immune system and really beneficial for the digestive. So for everybody who has yet to try Cali, I encourage you to truly, 1 Cali a day, every day, I hope for the rest of your life. But if you want to really prevent, do your best to prevent, at least decrease, but prevent colds and flus and allergies. And if you are feeling under the weather, then decrease the length of time that you're under the weather. And if you are having to utilize other versions, whether it's medications or you're under a lot of stress or your food choices aren't great, this will absolutely allow for the body to eliminate and flush what isn't needed. For those of you that are wanting to lose weight, this is wonderful because you'll find that it aids in flattening your stomach. For those of you that always ask me, Kelly's wonderful as for cortisol, but as you reduce body fat. I think one of the perks that I like with Kelly is for everybody who's ever had a head cold, who's ever had, right, where you feel that you are just swollen and puffy, or your nose is all stuffy, or you're having those headaches from having a cold. This is wonderful. Help get you back to health. So as we look at both prevention, I also want you to know Kelly does wonderful things while you're in the middle of some of the challenges. And now that Sunrider has brought the Kelly cinnamon or Kelly back, I encourage all of you to get it. The other version of Cali that all of you have asked about for so long is the Cali night. And Cali night is also back. And the difference is the daytime Cali, which I think is superior, has what we call Camellia sinensis. And that active ingredient or that amazing herb is one of the best for the immune system. It also gives you some energy. The Cali night utilizes what we call passion flower. And passion flower allows you to relax and for you to be more tranquil. Now, for some of you, you may find this a better choice during the day. because possibly you find yourself a little bit over-energized or possibly feeling a little anxious during the day. So you can drink Kelly night during the day, but for everybody who understands that before we go to bed, we do the majority of our recovery during our sleep. The body doesn't have to inherit any more energy from working or driving, right, or exercising. It really just has to sleep and rest. And so it can put its energy into cleansing and recovery. And so drinking Kelly night before bed is wonderful because what happens is you allow your body to purge, right? While you're sleeping, all of the toxicity that it doesn't need, and you wake up in the morning, a lot of you feel greatly refreshed. And you will urinate. That's part of cleansing. But you will find that in the morning, after Kelly night, you have had much more of a restful sleep. And the key that I think above and beyond everything else is that cleansing process has had a chance to actually work, that it hasn't had to utilize any of the nutrients for anything else other than just cleanse. I think that one of the other keys is to remind you that the Kelly does not interfere at all. For those of you in this question that ask a lot, you'll have to take medication in the evening, or possibly you have your routine, maybe you utilize something for blood pressure. This is just so you understand, Sunrider is about food and prevention. So unless you truly have been limited by what you can eat, then Kelly night at night is wonderful. It doesn't matter what else you are doing. And the gain, as I shared with you before, is that this allows for not only tranquility, but for you to have a restorative sleep. And you will find that when you wake up, your urine is clear, but you will urinate a lot. My favorite piece here is the understanding that, as we've talked about over weeks, that regeneration is Sunrider's big and most important philosophy. That as we use and consume these foods, because they're in their whole food state, our bodies actually repair, they renew, restore, and what we call regenerate, meaning that we actually have the ability to turn back the clock, make young again, the cells become new. And so a lot of times I encourage you to utilize not just your Sunrider foods in the morning, but also at night, because again, through sleep, we have a lot of restorative time where regeneration takes place and can take place. And so I want to encourage you that even though we will talk in future weeks about NBC more and more, for those of you that may have struggles, even the kids, I used to do it with my babies, restless sleeps or wake up in the middle of the night, a little new plus in your Kelly, even with a little quinine before bed, is really restorative and allows for regeneration. And I want to remind you, as always, that we are not, I want to say this nicely, we are not a people that thrive on one meal a day. We just aren't. We are busy, we're active, we are in recovery all the time, and over these past few years, we have been living through pandemic, right? So we all have, whether it's stress or we have new activity, some of you new birth, some of you are going through the loss of someone. There's a lot of life that's happening, and a lot of life in the middle, and a lot of activity, a lot of exercise. So I want to remind you that eating, although you may eat breakfast and you may eat your Sunrider in the morning, it's not enough. It doesn't suffice to give you all the nutrients you need for that busy day of yours and that recovery in your sleep. So I want you to really think about that if you are questioning whether or not you're getting the results you want, or you're consuming enough of it, or possibly you're still symptomatic. And for those of you that are new, I want you to think about this. Are you a person that eats 6 small meals a day? Are you a person that eats 3 square meals a day? What kind of a person are you? And fit your Sunrider in the same way. As a mom who has been up many nights with children, and I want to remind you that getting a restful sleep matters. So whether you are in my shoes or you are home like one of my children, right, who's in his dorm and is still staying up till 2 studying and not getting enough restful sleep, or you are possibly going to work the next morning and you are finding that you are up watching TV or even reading your book, I want to remind you, rest matters. Matters. And it matters that you get the nutrients in at the end of the day to help that rest be effective in the form of regeneration and cleansing as much as it is in the beginning or the middle of the day. That is for all of you. I don't care what age you are, what stage of life you're in, how much activity you do, or what your health is. This is the same for all of us. So we have Cali Night and we have Cali Cinnamon. Okay. The last one that I want to cover. Have a little echo here. 1 second, guys. All right, we'll try it again. There we go. Okay. Is equally, I think, is important going forward, and that is because everybody is talking about the significance of overeating at this point, or they're wanting to possibly lose some of the pandemic weight, or they are more active, or for a lot of you women specifically, it's menopausal weight. There's all sorts of reasons that a lot of you men and women, young, old, are looking to increase your metabolism and flush fat, another version of cleanse. And I want to remind you that when we flush fat, sometimes we don't feel great, guys. When fat lives in many parts of the body, but it's stored, if you think of it, toxins are stored in fat cells. And when we start losing our fat, our body weight, or even if we're exercising more, you may find you feel a little fluish, or you find actually your energy sometimes is up, sometimes a little down for the beginning. The more weight you lose, sometimes the more symptomatic you become, as these fat cells are dropping the toxins out of your system. And so I want to teach you something very simple, and that is Action Caps Fit with Fortune Delight. Okay? Action Caps Fit, which are available, and I think are fabulous, and it's probably the only product I would endorse that supplement-wise to burn fat, turns on what Sunrider calls the fat-burning power of your metabolism. And it helps to support your weight loss and your fitness results. It's packed with a potent blend of super concentrated green tea. We know the garcinia fruit, rosemary, etc. But the key here is that it jumpstarts the thermogenic effect, or think of it as revving up your engine, right? Putting coals on the fire. It allows for your metabolism to burn at a higher rate. And so you feel energized when your metabolism is higher. You feel like you can go much further. It allows you to. And when you are going much further, you're exercising more, absolutely you burn fat. The difference is that what Sunriders does is it activates what we call the thermogenic effect in brown fat. And that's important. Sorry guys, a little static. It activates your brown fat and allows you to burn off your white fat without any jitters, sleeplessness, or even being restless. So for everybody, this is a game, because we need the good brown fat to keep our brain functioning optimally, to keep our body functioning optimally, but we don't need, right, the white fat. And so you will notice that sometimes as you are burning your fat, you may feel a little symptomatic. You will be energized though, but not like caffeine. You will just feel energized. Fortune Delight, which is similar to our Cali, actually helps flush out from what the fat cells are eliminating. It allows for your body to cleanse those out so they don't impact you with all of these negative side effects. And so when you're using your Action Caps Fit and you're flushing fat, it's important that we also add the Fortune Delight. So it allows for you not only to be effective in the weight loss or in the toning of your skin or the toning of your body, but also that you have the effect of a positive gain where you don't feel that blue light. I think as you look at Fortune Delight, which is now, you'll see different flavors that's back in stock, you'll see that it looks a lot like your Cali Foods. The difference really is that with Fortune Delight, it helps to flush out also that lactic acid that comes when we are active. And that lactic acid is what gives you the cramp in your muscles. And so for me, I'll give you this example. We have a lot of leaves here. It's fall, and we were raking for about 6 hours the other day. And I drank my Fortune Delight the whole time and never woke up the next day, nor did anybody else, with cramps. Fingers didn't cramp, the legs didn't cramp, nothing cramped. And that's because of the Fortune Delight. So again, when we are losing weight or we are toning our bodies, we need to also make sure that we utilize the Fortune Delight to move that fat through so that it comes out, right? It burns, but also so that all of the things that the fat cells are storing that are toxic also are eliminated. And the gain is not only do we get stronger, but we also break down that lactic acid in the muscles so nobody's cramping. That's astounding. You can mix the Fortune Delight with your Cali if you'd like, but I would like, as we all go forward, to understand that the cleansing process in our organs require it. And so it's not replaceable with just another green tea on the market or water. These products all have a role and they matter. So just to kind of recap, we're looking at our fruit and vegetable list. Easy to wash all of our produce. We make sure that we are preventative, right? And the germs and the flus and the colds and everything else that touches our produce, but also that we are getting rid of any pesticide and any toxin that lingers on it so that it's safe for all of us and potentially has a health gain for everybody when it comes to an allergic response to the pesticide. The second is that we want to look at the importance of which is our calories, and allows again for your body to eliminate effectively and naturally all the toxins that we store while boosting your immune system. And the third, of course, which is really important, is as we are cleansing and we're moving forward with flushing out fat and the elimination of unwanted white fat, we're still allowing for our metabolism to burn higher, which is, I think, really the important piece here, and keeping the brown fat, which we need, strong and effective and supple, but that we are also making sure that we are not just increasing metabolism, but bringing Fortune Delight in to help the elimination process or the cleansing process of the fat. That's equally as important as burning it. We have to eliminate it. And a secondary effect of that is that we also will flush out the lactic acid, which causes cramping. And that's for everybody all the time. And the last piece is really the telling night, which allows for that restful sleep and the recovery and regeneration as you sleep, which is really important so that we can, again, start anew the next day, which is what regeneration really is about. And just, my little tip, we're not one meal a day. We're not designed for one meal a day. And if you are, then hopefully you are minimizing the amount of activity, right? So that you're sitting somewhere meditating on the mountaintop. But for those of you who email me, who are busy and crazy all day long and active, guys, you've got to have enough nutrients, I've said this to you before, to carry you through the life that you want. And then you have to have those nutrients when you go to bed. You do the cleansing, restorative, and regenerative sleep, and effect that you want for going forward. All right, so it's questions, comments, thoughts, and as soon as you're done, Marlene will talk about what else is coming up. But who's used these products? Anybody want to share?
I'll share with the fruit and veggie rinse. When you're somewhere watching fruits and vegetables, I remember reading someone had written into Ann Landers and said if people knew the rats and the big spiders that were on the bananas when they're being shipped and everything, they would wash bananas even though you don't eat the peel.
Correct.
So, I'm sure that all fruits and vegetables have stuff like that. And if you were had your own organic garden, you may fertilizing with manure.
Yes.
So you definitely would want that as well. And then the fruit and veggie rinse, I remember hearing that it neutralized chemicals. And so one time I went to pick up my son at school, and he came running up and put his head up against the chain link fence, and it pushed his bangs and stuff up. And he had this rash all over. And I had a friend next to me that was picking up her son, and she was a nurse. And I said, look at this. What do you think this is? And she goes, oh, that's a chemical burn. And I said, oh, my goodness. And of course it's Friday. It's always Friday whenever your kids need anything. So you got to decide, what you're going to do. Well, we're through and go to the kids. So I said, oh, well, I'll go home. And, doctor, she goes, no. She goes, the chemical burn will keep burning. She says, you've got to go to the doctor. Well, not having a big deductible and all that and not being, thrilled with going to doctors anyway, I went home and I thought, okay, chemical burn neutralizes chemicals. I got out my fruit and veggie rinse and I mixed a little bit up and put it on a cotton ball and put it, on every place the rash was. And my daughter also had it then. When I went to push back her hair, she had it as well. And I'm like, what in the world? Where is this coming from? So the next day we had a play date with this nurse with her son. And she goes, oh my goodness, that looks so much better. It's already drying out. And she goes, what did the doctor give you? And I told her what I had done and everything. But it was remarkable how quickly it healed it. I didn't know for the longest time what had caused that until, I don't know whether it was months later or a year later, but I came home and my daughter had down her face, around her nose and her chin, and it's like something had run down her face. And I said, sweetheart, what did you do? What is this and everything? She had gone in, and I had thought this. It was not the label brand of the No More Tears.
Shampoo.
Well, it was the spray you put on afterwards, and be able to comb out the.
The Tangle one. Yeah.
Yeah. No more tangles, maybe.
No more tangles. Sure.
Yeah. And those things that you tried to spray that, and being a little, and she sprayed it, and it had hit her forehead and run down her face, and that's what that was. And again, I used the fruit and veggie rinse and threw that out because and it wasn't something that I used very often, but
that's incredible.
Yeah. So it tells you
wow.
Some of these things are that they're making for our kids on the market, and I loved that it was like
that's a great testament. Wow, the No More Tangles. Oh my gosh, thank you. And I loved at the beginning, guys, that was a really good point also. It doesn't matter if there's a peel that you're eating like the banana. Wash everything in fruit and vegetable rinse, everything, not even if it's the sweet potato or the potato, everything in there, okay? Oh, thank you so much. Anybody else want to share?
I do.
Go for it.
I know you, Dr. Dees. I'm Jacqueline West, from Paso, Texas.
Hi, sweetie. Go for it. What would you like to share?
I want to say that Sunrider is a gift from God, and that it has rejuvenated my body, my mind, and my spirit. I take a lot of their products. I take white willow bark and Suja, that helps me. My knees, I can walk now. I can walk before. I was limping, now I walk, no problem. Now I'm anything in reverse. I look younger. And now I know that there's only one religion. It's God religion. He chose the Jews, but he loves everybody. I'm a native Indian. We were here in America first.
Thank you so much. And you look beautiful.
You do too.
Thank you, sweetie. Your photo's beautiful.
What's the next position? I'm sorry I missed the Grand Commission this time, but I'm going next one.
Oh, well, I will see you there also. Thank you, sweetie.
Okay,
Marlene, are you on by any chance?
I'm going to go on mute now, okay?
All right, sweetie. Thank you. Marlene, are you there? Yes, go for it, honey.
Great stories, great information. Thank you, Dr. Dees. Okay, so right after this call, we have the Rising Stars team call. You can get that information on their Facebook page right after this call. And then tonight we also have a Sunrider corporate call. It is called New Sunrider.
Why do they say Rising Stars? I'm sorry.
Oh.
Why do they say Rising Stars?
One
Stars
sec.
are in the sky, they don't rise.
Marlene, say it again, hon.
I didn't hear that question. Did you want me to just tell the rest of it, or?
Yeah,
I didn't.
Go ahead, hon.
Okay, right. And then right after that is called the Sunrider for new independent business owners. It says attention sponsors, this monthly onboarding training is for your new IBOs. Be sure to invite them to join you. And that is at 5 Pacific time, 8 Eastern.
Okay.
And you can get that information also on Rising Stars or on one of the Sunrider Facebook pages.
So, guys, I will repost all of that on my page.